Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Precious Metals Mining Pitch Battle here at Mines and Money. Yeah, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and fantastic to have you all here on board. Thank you very much for joining us here. My name is Jochen Staiger from Commodity TV. I'm your MC and host here today. And yeah, we have 5 companies which are here in the pitch battle today, and we have Sitka Gold, Thunderstruck Resources, American Pacific Mining, Sable Resources, and Capella Minerals. Each of them will present 3 minutes, and then we will have a Q&A with our fantastic judges, and then we will see who wins $1 million investment capital at the end. Let me also introduce to you our judges here today. We have Angelos, Damaskos, CEO of Sector Investment Management. Then we have Chen Lin, President of Lin Asset Management, Michael Danov, President and CEO of SBP Management, which is a family office, and we have Chris Mancini, who is Research Analyst at Gabelli Gold Fund. And last but not least, I should have started with the lovely lady, Miranda Werstiuk, Corporate Development Director of OCIM Precious Metals. And yeah, guys, let's get started. Our first company, as I said, is Sitka Gold, and Core Co is the CEO and Director of the company. So Core, I start the countdown and the floor is yours.
Thank you. Just trying to get this up and running. So, hello everyone. Sitka is a junior gold, silver, and copper exploration company that went public in 2018. It has a market cap of about 9 million with 58 million shares outstanding, and management owns about 15% of that. The company was founded by a team of mining professionals with a strong technical background and a track record of past successes. Myself, I'm a geologist and mining engineering technologist with over 30 years of experience, including running public companies. I've also put 2 mines in production and am credited with the discovery of a 2 million ounce gold deposit. Sitka has a diverse portfolio of projects across North America. Our primary gold and silver assets are located in the Yukon, Arizona, and Nevada, and last year we completed 4 drill hole programs on 4 of these properties, 4 drill programs. We made a major gold discovery while drilling last year at our district scale RC gold project in the Yukon. Results from the drill program identified a large intrusion-related gold system that is coincident with a massive 2 kilometer by 500 meter gold and soil anomaly. These discovery holes, spaced up to 800 meters apart, had gold mineralization running from the surface to their average depth of 300 meters and produced some exceptional intercepts with grades that are comparable or higher than the average grade at Victoria Gold's New Eagle Gold Mine, located just 40 kilometers away. This system appears to have the size and grade necessary to host a world-class economic gold deposit. We are very excited to follow up on this discovery with a major drill program next summer. Our Burrow Creek gold-silver property in Arizona contains a historical 5 million ounce silver and 120,000 ounce gold deposit that was previously permitted for production. Initial drilling completed last year returned impressive grades of up to 1 meter of 17 grams per ton gold and 75 grams per ton silver, and confirmed that this vein system continues south along strike for what could be an additional 1.3 kilometers of undrilled mineralization. Permitting is underway to continue step-out drilling. Sitka's Alpha Gold property, a Carlin-type mineralization target located along the projection of the Cortez Trend in Nevada. This trend hosts over 50 million ounces of gold to date. Results from initial drilling last year support our geological model of a major Carlin-type gold system at depth and assisted us in targeting additional, more refined drilling that is scheduled to begin in about 2 weeks. So in short, Sitka provides exposure to a variety of active projects and several opportunities for success. The company trades at a significant discount compared to its peers and provides a very attractive entry point for investment at its current valuation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was perfectly in time. If you can stop the screen sharing, please. Okay. That would be great. Thank you. And now it's up to our judges. 8 minutes for Q&A, please. Who wants to go first? Miranda.
Hi, Core. Thank you for that. How much cash do you have on hand right now? Where are you going to allocate it?
We've got enough cash to do what we need to do in Nevada and Arizona, but going into the Yukon, we're definitely going to have to fund that. That's going to be a major program.
Okay, and is that in 1, 2, 3, 4 million? Like, is that how much do you like?
We're looking at minimum of 10,000 meters up there and about $250 a meter. So we're looking at 2.5 million minimum, probably closer to 3 or 4, because we want to do some extra work on that property as well.
Okay, thank you.
Chen?
Okay, yes, hi, Cole. Question, you have many projects, so which one is your favorite? And also for company of your size, do you consider spinning off different projects? Because some investor may be interested in some area in particular.
We're always open to that, entertaining that. The Burrow Creek property in Arizona essentially is our flagship property. The only thing that's changing that is the discovery we made in the Yukon this past year, and that's turning our attention into that area quite extensively. We also have a 100% owned subsidiary company called Arctic Copper Corporation that has a massive land position up in the copper mine area and a new copper showing there. These are possibilities that could be spun out, but at this time, we're not entertaining it.
Michael?
To Chen's question, since you are focused on your flagship asset, what's the idea? Is it essentially prove up the reserves, get it to a certain level, either take it to production yourself, or eventually bring a larger JV partner to take this forward with?
Well, that's a good question. I think it's going to depend on what we find with our next phase of drilling down in Burrow Creek there. That's going to take about another 30 drill holes and a few months before we get that done. And then we have to do the resource calculation and kind of go from there. Obviously, it looks pretty attractive with the prices of silver and gold today.
Got it. Any other current producers around you on that property in particular that could be an interest for them right now to start looking into the diligence?
Yeah, the Northern Vortex has their Moss mine that went into production last year. It's the latest gold mine to go into production in the United States, and it is the same type of geological environment. It's an epithermal vein system. Their grades are a little lower than what the grades are where we are, but they've shown that the infrastructure, the labor pool, everything is pretty positive in Arizona in that respect. And there's other companies coming around too that are looking at it. So we'll see what happens there.
Sorry, Michael, you had one more?
And just last question, and from a capital perspective, how much would you have to allocate on this particular project itself, just to get an understanding from the balance sheet?
Can you repeat that?
From a balance sheet perspective, how much have you to allocate capital on this specific project to finish the word you just described to get to those final drill holes and get to the project to be presented?
We're looking at about $500,000 to $600,000 Canadian.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Angelos?
I have to disclose that we have a very small shareholding in Sitka Gold, so we are current shareholders, so I know the operations well. Just wanted to ask, Cor, is there any particular bias on the metal at the moment? Do you have preference on the metal? I put more capital towards gold projects or towards silver?
Both gold and silver, and actually copper as well. You know, that's kind of how we tailored the company when we founded it, and copper is looking pretty attractive as well. But we think that silver has a pretty attractive future going forward here. And of course, there's 5 million ounces there of historical in that deposit in Arizona already. So it bodes well for being able to expand that metal down there with the drilling we're doing.
Can I go?
Yes, please.
Okay. So on the Yukon deposit, you said you had that one really good hole, 100 meters at 0.8 grams. How many holes in all have you drilled, and how many meters? And you also said that that you traced an anomaly for a certain number of meters on surface. Can you talk about that, like what you were actually tracing and how many meters?
Oh yeah, this is real exploration. This is the success that you want after doing a lot of work. This anomaly is a gold anomaly, and it goes for about 2 kilometers in an east-west direction, which is what you would expect with the intrusions in that area. And it's about 500 meters wide. We took 4 drill holes and we spaced them out to test what was bringing that gold to the surface. This is a very strong anomaly. It's 500 parts per billion plus. And that's very unusual. Usually you get around 100 parts per billion plus and you end up with a deposit. And I know that from experience there at Red Mountain. So we selectively picked 4 spots within that 2 kilometer length. And like I mentioned, some of those drill holes are 800 meters apart. And those holes average 300 meters deep. And we just used that as an example in my presentation just now, the 100 meters of 0.82. But all the holes came in with some very significant intercepts. And to put it in perspective, the grade that Victoria Gold is mining is 0.63. We're getting high grade as well, not included in that, not smeared in that low grade or 0.82. One of our holes bottomed in 16 grams per ton for 2 meters. It was our last sample. So there's a lot going on there. That's a very rich, fertile area, and that's why we're going to be aggressive with trying to define that enough to put a resource together by the end of the year. That's our target objective.
Okay. And how much drilling have you done? How many meters have you done at the Arizona project?
We've done about 1,000 meters.
Okay.
They're very shallow holes because we were testing the hypothesis that the vein system was covered by a thin veneer of volcanic rock, and a mobile metal ion survey on the surface had shown this gold and silver bleeding to the surface, and we figured that was the Burrow vein system, and so stepped out and the first 300 meters there we tested it fairly shallow, like down drilling holes that are only like 100 meters deep, and confirmed that vein is very persistent, and it's connecting to the vein that pops out of the mountain about 1.5 kilometers away. So we know we've got the same vein happening there because of that signature, geochem signature there. So that was very successful.
And we are exactly at the 8 minutes. Thank you very much. Well done. And thanks to our judges for the questions. And we move forward to our next company, which is Thunderstruck Resources and Bryce Bradley. Bryce, are you ready? Are you there? Super. Yeah.
This.
Fine. Okay. Okie dokie. Then let's get started. Bryce Bradley, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, thank you very much for listening in today. We are Thunderstruck. We have 4 assets spanning 4 commodities: zinc, copper, gold, and silver on the main island of Fiji. It's nice to have 4 commodities so you can hedge against commodity fluctuations and whatnot for the investors. 3 of our 4 assets are owned 100%, and the 4th one is a joint venture with JOGMEC, which is a Japanese government-owned exploration entity. There's several reasons why that joint venture is valuable, extremely valuable to us. It's a 70-30 deal. One, it de-risks investment and de-risks country risk for any new investor who is wondering, first of all, where is Fiji? A lot of people wonder that. And also, secondly, they didn't know that it's a mining friendly country and that there are actual mines in the country. As you can see, there are all surrounding our main island in various states of development. Line 1 is about to go into development. Vatukoula is currently a gold mine. It's been producing for the past 80 years. So it's a mining friendly country. And that also says that we have skilled workforce available. The second reason why this joint venture is important is because it de-risks any management risk that people may wonder if they were looking at me up on this virtual stage and wondering, who is this woman? Never heard of her. JOGMEC has given us the rights to be the operator. So we are operators in the country. That's a big nod to our expertise in the country and to our relationships that we have with the government and with the landowners. We have secured the maximum license renewals you're allowed in exploration. So we have 5-year license renewals. And we have 5-year landowner renewals, which roll over if there aren't any issues, and if we keep with what we're promising to do. Anglo drilled these assets in the late 70s. They spent almost $6 million US. Our market cap is around the same amount or even less than what they spent back in the 70s. This is not even including all the drilling that we've done and exploration we've done since securing the assets in the last 3 years. Our board is absolutely spectacular. We have Brian London, who is a co-founder with me on this company from 5 years ago. He writes Gold Newsletter. He does the New Orleans Investment Conference every year. Lawrence Ralston, very well known in our industry, is our technical director. He's been to Fiji, of course, loves the mineral potential of these assets. And he's had his own newsletters. He's started many companies himself and been on the boards of many juniors. And then finally, Tookie Angus, he's serially successful in our industry, as he will be the first to tell you, actually. And he's the ex-chairman of NEVS, and he's currently chairman at K92, which is producing gold in Papua New Guinea. So thank you very much. I think I'm hitting my 3-minute mark, and if I had a mic, I would drop it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Those were the 3 minutes. And yeah, please get rid of the screen sharing. Thank you. Yeah, now up to our judges for 8 minutes. Questions, please. Who wants to go first? Yeah, Miranda.
Hi, Bryce. Hi, Bryce. Thanks for that. Just a quick question. You've got 4 assets, multi-commodities. Which one are you going to advance first?
Most advanced is the joint venture with JOGMEC. We're entering our 3rd year and our 3rd year of drilling. Our year with them goes April 1st. So we're finishing our 2nd year with them. So we did a whole bunch of IP. Last year was a little bit wonky, given everything. And we had a Category 5 cyclone that hit us in December. So a little bit of disruption there. However, what's very important in terms of JOGMEC is that I don't know if you guys know their structure and how they work, but they're a government entity. And so they do these 3-year deals with little guys like us, and then they hand over their joint venture interest, which will be 70% in March 2022. They kind of hand over the interest to a large mining companies in Japan in order to feed them the commodities they need for infrastructure. So they flew me to Tokyo last January, and I met with Mitsubishi, Nitetsu, all these companies, and Mitsui, who's a multi-billion-dollar mining company, chose to take us on. So now they're involved, and if they like what they see, they came last year for the first time in December. Cyclone made them go home, but okay, they're coming back in, I think, April to continue IP and to oversee the 3rd year of the drill program. If all goes well, Mitsui will then be our partner, which is just outstanding. We can only hope. I don't know exactly what's in the ground, but it's a VMS, high grade zinc, high grade copper. Anglo had drilled it. We're talking 14% zinc and 2-3% copper. So let's just hope our drill program shows, continues to follow that trend. We have the project I like the most is actually the least advanced, and that's our Liwa gold asset called Liwa. It's the only one that was not drilled by Anglo, but we got in there. It used to be just helicopter. We built a 15-kilometer road into the properties, and we did a whole bunch of work on it in terms of sampling, geochem, mapping, surface stuff, and then trenching, and came back super high grade over 4 different areas spanning 3 kilometers. So we intended to go in and do our first maiden program. And why I signed up for this conference is we thought we'd have the assays back so that we could discuss that. And we could talk about this miraculous rise in the share price at this conference. However, we started the drill program late. Again, it was a COVID related stuff, getting the drills in and everything. We started it when the rainy season just started in December. And then having that Category 5 cyclone hit us, we got half a drill hole done. And then we had to pull everyone out in emergency evacuation. This is true exploration, but everyone's going to be going back in. We have the money to drill it. It's 1,500 meter drill program that we still have to complete. We've done 70 meters. That's nothing. So we're going to go back into that one. Everybody's waiting for results on that. I was very, very upset. It was a sad Christmas, but everyone was safe. No one got hurt. Even the stray dogs and cats. So we'll be getting back in there in May, and that's good for you guys, our new investors, right? Because we still haven't drilled it. So, and we really think that that's going to hit. The other two projects, we want to joint venture them. I can almost guarantee that our copper porphyry called Rama, high grade gold around the fringes, but low grade copper in the middle, quite a bit of gold in it too. It was drilled by Anglo. I can almost guarantee that we will secure a joint venture on that one. We don't want to keep it. I mean, it's deep. 0.22% over 244 meters. Is what Anglo had drilled. And so we did a bunch of IP on it. We did a whole bunch of sampling around and discovered a gold zone. But we would like to joint venture that because we need really deep holes, 500 meter or more. And then the other one we want to joint venture, the fourth one, is a VMS asset again. High grade zinc and copper, like 12% zinc. Anglo did like a small resource, 450,000 tons at, I think it was 11.6%. And 0.6% copper. So we'd like to joint venture that one also because it's quite a vast area and might be complex geology in terms of like open pit and underground. I'm not a geologist, but the JOGMEC deal, that's like super easy, open pit, you can get into production really quickly. Obviously we don't want to be producers. Our idea is to be like the first mover guys in Fiji and pick up all the best assets. I mean, I relocated here because of COVID. And in fact, it's actually done very, very well for the company. Our senior exploration geologist also moved here. We had to make a decision. We're going to do it from Canada or we're going to do it from here. And since I can do the conferences virtually, there's no reason for me to actually be running around North America right now. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Because I have my hand, Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, next question. Who wants? Angelos?
Yes, a typical problem in that part of the world is, displacement of agricultural communities and compensation of farmers, etc. What kind of territory surrounds your properties, and what are potential environmental permitting problems?
Oh, well, I mean, we have a very, very low environmental impact on any exploration that we do or drilling, right?
No, I'm talking about the local communities and the local stakeholders.
Okay, so the positive thing about the local communities here is that many of the elders, including the chiefs on two of our properties, actually worked with Anglo back in the late 70s, being drilling assistants or whatever, working on the assets. So they're comfortable, they're not shocked by what we're doing, and they're not confused that we're going to be damaging their land. They also get a big cut of what would be happening once we get a mining license. We will not get the mining license, we'd be selling it at that point. So it would actually be someone else's problem, I guess is the short answer. But we have 5-year exploration licenses, completely different. We get landowner compensation agreements. All of this adheres to British mining law back from when they were colonizing. So the Mineral Resource Department is quite savvy, as are the landowners themselves. The breakdown for when they get a mining license is I think they get 3% royalty on base metals and 5% on gold if and when it becomes a mine. And then that's further broken down. 80% of that goes to the landowners, so 4% if it's gold, and 20% of the royalty goes to the government, Mineral Resource Department. So we're quite fortunate in that there's been a mine in production also for 80 years, and most of our workforce, certainly management, they've all worked at Vatukoula Gold Mine. So again, they're a bit savvy, and there's just a comfort level that is really nice to have in an environment like this, right? Because it's such a pristine environment. We're not on the beaches. I mean, really, we're in the middle of nowhere. Like the Liwa gold asset, super remote. You could only get to it by helicopter. No villages. I think it's like 15 kilometers or so is the nearest village. So, and our impact is going to be so tiny, just doing little tiny drill holes. And we leave it the way we came. We pay for any tree we broke. Roads, you have to pay per meter of what you've done. Mind you, roads benefit them. So, I mean, in the end, they're getting paid for something that they really do need to use anyway to get the kids to school.
Thank you very much. I have to stop here. The 8 minutes are gone. Thank you very much. And we move on to our next company, which is American Pacific Mining, and Warwick Smith is the CEO. Warwick, where are you? Ah, there he is. Super.
Here I am.
Good. You have screen sharing or you talk straight forward?
You know what? I'm going to talk straightforward. I might just bring up one slide in a moment, but I think I'll just speak because that's probably easiest for 3 minutes.
Then the floor is yours, please.
Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody being here. My name is Warwick Smith, and the company I'm representing is American Pacific Mining. My partner is Eric Saderholm. He's the former head of exploration in the Western US for Newmont. We've worked together since 2009 on and off. We had staked the Black Pine project previously that's with Liberty. We had a Deer Trail, which is now with Mag Silver. And today we're focused on the Madison mine down in Montana. We've got a partnership with Rio Tinto. Rio is spending up to $30 million US to earn 70% of the project. It is a high-grade skarnet surface with a porphyry underneath. We're about 48 kilometers away from the Butte mine, which is the third largest porphyry in the world. So we're in elephant country, working with the second largest mining company in the world. So certainly the project itself has had a good stamp of approval. I think when you're looking at juniors, you want to be looking at ones that can give you that explosive growth and projects that can get big. The fact that we're working with Rio, I think, gives a stamp of approval on that. The two other projects that we have are the Tuscarora project just outside of Elko, Nevada. It's about 45 minutes outside of Elko. That is in partnership with Saldera. They will be drilling that first quarter this year. And then we have the Gooseberry mine, which is again about 45 minutes just outside of Reno. That is in partnership with a company by the name of GRAC Global. GRAC Global will go public Q1 this year, and we'll drill that at the beginning of Q2. What we have focused on is finding high-grade assets within the Western US. I will take that moment now just to quickly screen share, and I will show you what I mean by high-grade. Here is a slide showing historical drill highlights of the Madison mine. So 30 meters of 25 grams per ton gold, 11 meters of 41 grams per ton gold, 4 meters of 82, 7 meters of 25, 14 meters of 12. And then spectacular copper numbers, 61 meters of almost 7% copper, 8.5 meters of 40% copper, 84 meters of 1.89, and then 2.7 meters of 41 grams per ton gold and almost 20% copper. So this is the type of numbers that certainly can excite the market. It certainly has excited Rio Tinto. It's excited ourselves as well. And the thinking is that this skarnet surface, those high grades are coming from somewhere, and that they feel that there's a big system underneath, which is a porphyry that is pushing it upwards. In 2018, this was drilled by our predecessor, and they were able to drill into the porphyry. We've got some great photos on the website of that core for those of you who want to see it. I think that is my 3 minutes, and I look forward to your questions. Thank you very much.
Perfect on the spots. Thank you very much. And now up to our judges, please. Questions.
Warwick, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, Michael.
It sounds like you have quite an interesting projects in advance. Where are you going to be spending the most time and energy and money going forward? It obviously sounds like some of these projects will be either taken out or managed by some of your strategic partners. How are you guys going to work about it? What's kind of the game plan for the next 12, 18 months? And how are you looking to fund this all opportunities?
You know, look, we're in an enviable position in that I think we've got 3 high-grade assets on the Western U.S., great jurisdiction. They're all going to be drilled this year. I suspect this year we're going to see in and around $10 million worth of drilling, yet that is all going to be funded by our partners. We have cash. We have about $1.5 million in cash, $1 million of stock in a company called Saldera. When GRAC Global goes public this first quarter, we'll have about $1 million of stock in them, and we burn about $100,000 a month. So burning $100,000 a month and getting $10 million or so worth of drilling out this year, I think will work quite well for shareholders. I'll touch on that as well, Michael, just to add to that. We're in acquisition mode. We're looking for other things to add into the mix. You know, we like the joint venture model, but we're certainly not scared of finding something that we can run ourselves as well. So we're in the mode of looking to acquire.
Got it. And it sounds like quite a things are happening. It sounds like not a lot of capital coming out of your pocket to get the project along. Why do you think the stock is depressed where it is today? Why do you think you guys get an appreciation on all of your assets?
I'm glad you asked that question. It gives me a chance to address it. So this was a company that a few months back had about a $45 million market cap. When we closed the acquisition on Madison, The Casey Research Group was kind enough to write a nice note on us, and we used them and Chen Lin as well to raise about $3 million. That financing came free trading, so some of those shares were obviously sold as those people were up quite nicely. To compound that, on December 26th, the shares that we paid for the acquisition came free trading as well. So we've seen some pressure there. So what does that mean? So we've gone from about a $45 million market cap to a $10, $12 million market cap today. It's a great time for new people, we feel, to take a look. We have cash. We have a bunch of drilling coming forward. And now it's our job to do a lot of these and create that excitement to get the spotlight back on our company. And we certainly intend to do that.
Are there any warrants attached on the original raises or any outstanding? Yes,
there are. There's warrants at 20 cents, and there's a small amount of warrants at 25 cents. Some of the 25-cent ones had already come down. There's about $6 million of warrants there. So there's a lot of cash there. So if we see this stock move up, that would bring in an awful lot of capital for us to work with in terms of acquisitions, et cetera.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Hi there. When you said that your predecessor had drilled into the porphyry, what did they find? And has Rio done any drilling so far?
Yeah, great question. So you'll see. Can I screen share? Is that allowed at this moment? Or I'm happy to show the picture of the core, but if not, that's no problem. Look, it's a lot of chaotic folding. It's exactly what you'd want to see when you get into a latite porphyry. That's really what got Rio interested. They kind of went, okay, there's real high grade here at surface. And now when we see this, we see that the porphyry is there. That's what initially brought them in. You can see it on the website, Christopher, if you take a look under the presentation, there's photos of the core there. The second part of your question was, has Rio drilled? They drilled in 2019. They drilled in 2020. We've released 3 holes from 2020. We're waiting on 5 more that we're going to release in short order. They are drilling again this year. In advance of that, what they are doing is building a 3D model with all the different ore types in it. So it's an interesting skarn in that it carries jasperoids, skarn, massive sulfides that all run. So they're putting together a 3D model, doing rock densities through all those different rock types, using that for targeting. Then they're going to drill both core and RC this year as well. So this will be their third year into drill programs. I don't know the size of program yet. What I can, and we're going to release that in the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks. We'll have a press release out on that. What I will say is initially they had talked about doing up to 120 holes last year. COVID changed that, as it did for a lot of things.
Right. So wait, it's $30 million for 70%. Is that what you said?
30 million US for 70%. Correct.
Okay. Okay. And where is it again? Madison? Where is it?
It's in Montana. Down by Silver Star, Montana. It's not somewhere you'd go to on holidays in Montana. It's sort of much more mining central, but a great place in Montana that you can put things into production. Most recently, Black Butte was permitted down there in April.
And those high grade hits, those skarn hits, or just they're not really mineable, or what's the story?
Oh no, they're mineable. This was last in production between 2008 and 2012. They small scale production, but they produced 2.6 million pounds of copper, between 20 and 35% copper. And then they included 7,570 ounces of gold at 16.1 grams per ton gold. So that was last in production, 2008, 2012. Previous to that, the jasperoid produced about 144,000 ounces of gold. I'm cuffing this, but it was around 12 grams per ton gold as well. So a lot of the metallurgical side has been figured out, at least from the skarn portion. Interesting for us, we thought Rio Tinto would be porphyry or bust. That would be their interest. They found a real interest in the skarn. Their drill programs have focused on the skarn, and this year they've made it bigger, both laterally and down dip. And they're going to increase that again this year, and we'll see what the size of the program is this year.
Thanks.
Chen, you are next.
Can I ask a question? Yeah, I have to disclose I own a small position of American Pacific. Hi, Ward. So do you have an idea of the size of this high grade deposit, or what's the time frame for them for Rio to come out with a resource?
Yeah, great question, Chen. So I'll give you, I won't give you ounces because I'd be arm waving, but you're connecting a strike length of about a mile just over a mile between three past producing mines, the Hudson, the Broadway, and the Madison. It extends along about a mile. That was the focus of their drilling this year. They laid pads along and then drilled fans off of those. And that will increase again as we come up to drill this year. They are, as I mentioned, putting together a 3D model with all the different rock types to do rock densities. I think at that point, I'll be able to say, okay, it looks like it's X million ounces. So there's the hope at surface. And then obviously the hope here is that this gets big. If they get down to the porphyry, you know, Butte produced a couple billion pounds of copper, 715 million ounces of silver, and 3 million ounces of gold. That's, I mean, it's Rio Tinto. They want something big. And I think when people are looking to invest in juniors, you're looking for that, you know, that hopeful 10x lift. You're looking to transact with a major somewhere down the line. We're already working with one of the majors who's done a lot of that due diligence for you, so that you know that this project has an opportunity to get that big lift and become a large style mine. You've got the second largest mining company in the world doing a lot of that work for you already.
Okay, great.
Super, perfect. Angelos, I'm very sorry we have only 4 seconds left, so I think that makes no sense, unfortunately. But maybe you guys can go afterwards and have a chat. Thank you very much for the presentation, Warwick. And
thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll turn off my camera.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, then we move on to Sable Resources and Ruben Padilla. Ruben, are you there? Yes, there he is. Great.
First screen.
Yes, you can share if you like. And then we get started. Yes, so Ruben Padilla from Sable Resources, please.
Hello, everybody. So this is Ruben Padilla representing Sable Resources. Sable Resources is an exploration company. It's a greenfield exploration company, which means that we're basically looking for projects outside the main big deposit, not in the brownfield, but in the extensions of mineral belts. We specialize, I think, in that to go to non-mineral belts that good endowment and look for properties there, get a good land position, and do a good systematic exploration. What I mean with systematic, we go spend enough time to generate new targets, cover large pieces of ground, and generate a pipeline from early stage projects to drill stage and be able to be drilling multiple targets. That is the way that we can minimize the risk. You know, exploration is a risky business. We know we need to go through a lot of projects before we have success. And the way the company, we minimize the risk is that high quality projects and have multiple projects and enough money to drill. So our business plan is to have a mineral discovery and to exit and to divest it in the right moment to get the maximum value, and then keep going as an exploration company as finding more ore deposits. We look for deposits that will be made happy any mid-size company or large company. So that means that we'll have a good value. We are well financed. We have a little bit over $20 million in cash and investment. We are a company, by the way, this moment we're at 25 cents, and the value, the company value in this moment is around, I think, $50 million. So we have $20 million in the bank. Plus, we own some very interesting NSRs in British Columbia that we can probably divest in the future to get more cash without dilution. The way that we are financing is with our money. We also have done some deals with the Osisco royalty about future royalties, 1% that we sold to them. And also we sold a small project, a discovery we had in Mexico. We sold it for $5 million and we spent only $1.5 million to get to the point, and some financing. So we have good projects and we have enough money to do the job. And in the cycle of mining, basically 2011, we started putting together big pieces of land. We went through all the painful process to generate targets, multiple targets. Now we have 10 targets ready to drill. Our plan is to drill between 3 and 5 projects per year for the next 3 and 4 years. Where are we located?
Ruben, sorry to say that, but the 3 minutes are over.
Oh, man.
Yep, that goes really fast, I know. Thank you very much. And please stop the screen sharing. And now the floor is for our judges to start questions. Who wants to go first? Angelos?
Yes, Ruben, thank you for the presentation. At the moment, from what I gather, it's only the 3 or 4 royalties that you have in the portfolio. What is the pipeline of projects, or is it just at the moment conceptual in the drawing board?
Unfortunately, but we have a project with projects in Mexico. We have 1.6 million hectares. We have 3 projects ready to drill. And we have 80 anomalies more we'll be producing more targets in Mexico. We are drilling 1 project in Mexico right now, and we are located in the Mexico silver belt, the richest silver belt in the world. We are probably one of the largest tenement holders in that part of the world at this moment. So yeah, 3 targets there, and a lot of more ground. In San Juan, Argentina, is also a very good jurisdiction for exploration. We have 110,000 hectares, and we have 2 main projects. Don Julio, that has 3 porphyry targets, copper and gold, and skarn and veins in a large area, like a 12 by 12 kilometers, that we're going to advance with a JV partner in that case. And we have another project that we call El Fierro in San Juan, Argentina, that is, in this moment, we have we have more than 10 kilometers of veins outcropping, with amazing values for half a kilo to 12 kilos silvers on the surface. And we are moving the rig, drilling with our money, moving the rig the first week of February. So we have a good balance of drilling our own projects, 3 projects with our money, and then with a JV partner, we'll be tackling what we call the porphyry environment of the Don Julio project. And at the same time, because we have this nice land package, we are producing more targets for the future.
So I have a question. So you have $20 million in cash. Where are you going to be allocating that money on? Which of the projects? So it sounds like you have a good balance sheet. Can you walk us through where that's going to be allocated and what kind of results are we going to be expecting in the next 12 months on the company level?
This year, we're going to spend $6.7 million. 70% will go to drilling. 13% go to target generation. 7% goes to pay tenements fees and all those kind of things, and 10% to G&A.
The 70% that's going on drilling, which of the projects are you going to be drilling?
You're going to go to El Fierro, that is big silver, high silver veins, because really they are, the kilo silver we're going to drill right underneath those values right now. 10,000 meters of drilling there, 5,000 meters of drilling in Mexico. And we are planning to drill another 10,000 meters in the Don Julio project. This is the porphyry skarn, but we're going to drill that with a JV partner fund.
So to expect any results, are we looking to get any drill results by end of this year or beginning of next year?
No, we will get the results. We will start drilling right away on February, the first week of February.
Okay.
So, the labs are really slow in these days, but we should be having results by February, by March. And then also we have a rig drilling right now in Mexico in a project is called Vinata. So we will have results from that also very soon.
Thank you.
Who wants to be next?
I guess I'll ask another question then. Oh, go ahead, Chen.
Yeah, hi, Ruben. Just a quick one. So which project do you think will have a biggest impact to your company this year?
Will be El Fierro. This thing is, like I say, it's easy 10 kilometers of high grade outcropping veins. And very likely we drill underneath those high values, we'll continue with that mineralization. So that one is an easy one to think that's the big impact. I love the projects in Mexico, but they are more geological high risk because we're looking for upper epithermal levels where geologists speculate that below the level we're going to find a bonanza zone. Many cases happen, but sometimes not. So we balance the risk. I tell people that we are investor, you give us the money like an investor group, and I divest the money, I put the money in different risk levels. And that's the case that I put in most of the money in El Fierro because it's a clear path for a good success, the way that I think. We have the other projects that are more geological risky, but high reward. So we put some hold there when they're getting broke. And in some projects that are very expensive and complicated for logistically, I bring a partner, a good partner, one of the very large mining companies in the world that will be doing the partnership with us.
That's great. Look like you have many projects, and that what's your goal for your company? You could become a royalty company, or you can, sell your project to the highest bidder at a certain time. So what's your future plan?
Our goal is simple. We find deposits and we sell it at the same point. Before we need to do too much drilling and the discovery point, it must be a moment where it's enough drilling to show the potential size and get somebody excited to buy it. And then we give as a dividend the money back to shareholders, and we keep going with the exploration company to looking for more deposits.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck.
Could I ask a quick question?
Yes, please, Michael.
Is this the company that Jason Kosek is the CEO of?
No, Jason is the CEO of Millennium in Nevada. But Jason, Jason
okay,
is the VP of the strategic development with us in Sable.
Oh, I see. Okay, but okay, so you don't work with Millennium. Do you work with Millennium too?
I do a little bit of consulting sometimes with for Jason, but I don't. Yeah, it's
so it's two different things. Okay, that's what I was confused.
We have a group of companies, Talisker Resources, Millennium, and Sable. So basically, we cover a lot of exploration in the Americas. And,
okay.
We would use the same umbrella, the same, basically the same people, no?
Okay, yeah. Because I remember I was talking to Jason. He mentioned you, so I got confused. But okay, I understand now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Michael, you had a question?
Yeah. How did you guys raise the capital that's currently in the balance sheet? Can you explain me a little bit on the cap structure? Who are some of the investors? Any institutional names? How much is the management on, and etc.
Yeah, well, from the institutional is 38%. Management is around 10 to 12%, and the institutions are Merck, are Sprott, Metal Tiger, some of the big investors from New York also, and Cisco Gold Royalties owns 9%.
Got it. Okay. And how did you guys raise the capital? What were the stages in the last year?
Yeah, in September, I took the job of the CEO. I was a VP of exploration, but I had a geologist as a career. I am 35 years in the business of exploration. I never took the job of CEO and president. It was more run. I worked for BHP for 13 years and Anglo Gold for 10. I took the job from VP to CEO, and we were like at 8 cents. We were able to move the company to 15, 16 cents. We did a raising. It was going to be for $5 million. The book was full, and we have an offer for 12 million, and we closed the book at 10 million at 15 cents and half a warrant.
Thank you very much, Ruben. Sorry, I don't want to be rude, but your 8 minutes are over and we want to have the rules for everybody. Thank you very much for the presentation. Thanks for the question. And we come to our last company, Capella Minerals, and Eric Roth, who is the president and CEO. Eric, are you there? Oops,
yes,
there
I'm
he
here.
is.
Super,
much. Sorry. Too many pictures here on my screen. Great. Yeah, so the floor is yours and you can get started, please. Your 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Jochen, for the introduction, and welcome everybody. My name is, as was introduced, Eric Roth from Capella Minerals. So what we'll talk about today is Capella. For those who don't know us, we do have a long track record in the business too. Before Capella, we were involved with Mariana Resources, which had the Hot Martin high-grade copper gold discovery in Turkey. Before then, I was CEO. This is now going back a few more years. Before then, I was CEO of Extori Gold Mines. We had the Cerro Moro discovery in southern Argentina. So we are a management team. We are a team with a track record of discovery. If I look at the current portfolio of projects today, so Capella as a company, we are based, it is listed on the TSX, so we are fundamentally a TSX listed company. Market cap currently is about 10 million. We have about 137 million shares outstanding. If you look at the focus that we have, so during 2020, we actually had a bit of a revamp of the portfolio. So during 2020, a couple of things changed. Previously, we were known as New Dimension Resources, but we did a name change, and I'll explain the rationale for that right now. So the current portfolio is 2 Canadian projects. So we have 2 joint ventures in Canada. One is in Manitoba. So that's the Domain joint venture with Yamana Gold. Now that is probably, in terms of our projects, the work that we have done is the most advanced, in the sense of it has fairly close to 10,000 meters of drilling on it. We are going through the process now of permitting and looking to drill that project again come Q3 this year. So that's a project that I think can move very quickly along the path to further discovery and growth. Now, also the other project we have in Canada is, and I should mention too that the joint venture is 70%, essentially 70% Yamana and 30% Capella. If I look at the other joint venture we have in Canada, it's Savant Lake. So this is a project that we earned into 100% last year on. It's an iron formation type system, very similar to what you see on some of the neighboring deposits like Musselwhite, Greenstone, etc. And, you know, we feel very strongly about the potential for discovery on that project. Savant Lake, so we earned into 100% of that project last year. So this is back in April. In September, we did a deal with Ethos Gold. So Ethos Gold is now earning into a 70% interest in that project. And the work has kicked off, and that's going to be a very dynamic joint venture, I think, for the company going forward. Just to maybe take a step back. So the company, if I look at the big picture for the company, we have 3 gold projects and 2 high-grade copper projects. So the focus for us historically has been more to the gold side. But given the buoyancy in copper markets and the opportunities that we've seen along the way, during 2020, we acquired some new projects in Scandinavia. 2 of those are copper, 1 is gold. So if I look at the Scandinavian projects quickly, we have the high-grade copper at Locken and Sjoli, which are old mining districts and very high-grade VMS deposits. So this is a great portfolio going forward. And in terms of, we've got a great mix of gold and copper here.
Thank you very much, Eric. Just in time. Perfect. So now up to our judges. If you can stop, please, the screen sharing. And our judges then for questions, please.
Hi, Eric. Thank you for that. I just wanted to know how much cash you have on hand right now, and is it going to be primarily directed into the Scandinavian projects? I mean, as a junior managing, you know, two diverse jurisdictions, I'm sure there's obviously complexity, but how are you going to manage that?
Correct. Yeah, it's a very good question. So if I look at the 2 Canadian projects, so Savant Lake is obviously, so Ethos is earning into that. So we have no expenditures on that project this year. They do need to spend the $2 million to earn into the 70%, as well as some cash and share payments to us. The Domain project in Manitoba is still going through permitting. I don't think we'll get around to drilling that until the second half of the year. So that for the moment is not likely to be a spend. And also our share of that spend is only about 30%. If I look at the Scandinavian projects, as you mentioned, so the 2 high-grade copper projects are the ones that are closest to getting to permitting, and in terms of the drill target generation work being advanced, going through permitting. And we will be looking to drill those in the second half of the year. The Swedish gold project, which is Southern Gold Line, is still relatively early stage. So I think we basically need another good summer of work there to finalize that drill target work. And then probably next year we'll be drilling. But to come back to your question on cash, so cash on hand at the moment, we don't have a great deal. We have about $1.5 million Canadian, which would basically, and we also have warrants, about $7 million worth of warrants that are fairly close to being in the money. So I guess over the coming months, what we'll be working on is, do we need to go back to the market to raise cash, or can we get those warrants into the money? But, those warrants coming in would basically generate $7 million. Also, too, in 2020, we did a couple of deals which gave us shares in other companies. So we have a small shareholding in Ethos Gold. We also have a small shareholding in Cerrado Gold, which came from one of the Argentine divestitures. So we also have that third option, too, of having shares that if we should need to dispose of them. But obviously, that's something that we don't want to consider as an option up front. So for us, we may need to raise money sort of in the next 6 months. But hopefully those warrants will come in the money, and with $7 million, that would really be able to allow us to do a big drill program on those on all the projects.
Okay, thank you.
Angelos?
I find this joint venture project you have with Yamana in Canada quite interesting. So I'd like to understand a little bit more about the terms. You said they are going to spend $2 million to earn 70% of the project. What happens next? would you be expected to contribute towards the further development of the project pro rata to your shares? And how would you fund that? Because it sounds as if it's going to be quite demanding from their own partnering with such a large company on a 70-30 basis.
Yeah, so I guess we're mixing the two projects here. So Yamana, the joint venture is at Domain, so that's in Manitoba. So we have the participating 29.6%, just a whisker under 30%. So effectively, the options we have there to continue are we either participate or we just, if we don't participate in the cash calls, we dilute out, and eventually, if we fall below 10%, we'd end up with an NSR. But basically, you know, for the moment, there aren't any sort of $10 million programs planned for it. It's a great project. I think it will get to resources very quickly, but it is a project that I think should be drilled, and hopefully we can get the drill turning there. The $2 million was referring to the Savant Lake earn-in, which is for Ethos Gold. So that's Ethos Gold on the Ontario project. So they would be earning into Savant Lake there. So, but yes, you know, Domain I think has great potential. You know, it's looking really good from the drilling, the 10,000 meters or so that's been done to date, and I think it really has good potential to grow. So you know, we're really looking forward to getting drilling there again.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Next one.
I'll ask
Yes.
Eric. Hi. What kind of drill holes have you drilled at, or has anybody drilled at the Domain project?
So it's all diamond drilling, and that's been done over the last, to be honest, the project actually hasn't seen any drilling the last couple of years. So that's all diamond drilling up until about 2017 was the last drill program there. So I guess it's, one of the issues we have obviously is with Yamana having its own huge pool of internal projects to fund too. It's obviously got to, you know, there's always this, I guess, competition for funds internally, but it has actually been sitting there without drilling for a couple of years. We are looking forward to drill now. And as you know, Yamana needs 1.5 or 2 million ounces on a project to make it work as a standalone. So, you know, the fact that we are going through this permitting suggests that they also agree that there is the upside potential to push this forward.
What kind of mineralization though was intersected there? What kind of holes were pulled?
Yeah, so it's basically, I mean, in the logs, it actually gets logged as a magnetite-bearing mudstone, but effectively it's a banded iron formation, I guess, if you want to call it that. So it's a combination of an iron formation and some shear zone-hosted mineralization. So, you know, so to me, it's a project that there's some quite good grades on the sections we've drilled in main zone. And I think there's great potential. And the other thing too to think about is that we've only drilled about an 800-meter long stretch of this main zone to about 200 meters or so. So, and there's probably another 5 kilometers of prospective targeting to go. So there's still a lot to test, and I really look forward to getting the rig back out there again.
What kinds of grades over what widths? Do you remember? Or is it...
Yeah, so from the 2017 drilling on one of the deeper step back holes, you know, it was sort of the order of, I'll say 5 meters at 8 grams. Those are the sort of parameters that we're sort of looking at. Some of the shallower drilling also got 9, 10 grams, but we're looking at those kind of numbers. So we're not talking about multi-ounce, but we're certainly talking about that sort of, you know, 5 to 10 gram range, with most sort of in that 7, 8 to 9 range, plus or minus.
Thank you.
Who wants to go next? Come on, there must be a question. You still have 2 minutes to go. That's funny. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll ask.
Yeah, Chen.
Eric, yeah, hi. A very interesting project. A lot of. So how do you prioritize? You know, which project? You know, you mentioned a lot of projects to go, and then to give the biggest bang of the buck to get your share up, to get a warrant exercise. So where is the key catalyst you're looking for this year?
Yeah, so I think obviously drilling is what excites the market. So we have 4 projects that we expect to be drilling during the year. Personally, I mean, obviously we're still bullish on gold, but I do like those high-grade copper projects in Norway for the simple reason that I didn't get a chance to point it out in the presentation, but there was a small photograph there. You can actually walk over outcrops that have 2.2% copper in them that have never been drilled, and this is between old mining operations. So, you know, it's quite extraordinary that, you know, people traditionally haven't thought much of Norway as a mining destination, but the reality is, it's just been a forgotten place in the sense of it had hundreds of years of copper mining, these massive sulfide deposits, are fantastic targets for small companies. They're basically company makers if you get enough tons in the grade together. So, but as I say, it is a place where you can actually walk on surface over massive sulfides on surface, and that's really impressive. That haven't been drilled in the year 2021. I mean, that's just awesome. I mean, it's a great opportunity for us, and so to me, while gold is still sort of the main focus of the company, I do like the fact of those high grade copper assets. I think that's a great addition to the company.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. The 8 minutes are gone. Thanks for the presentation. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask our judges for which company you will vote, and you want to spend your full $1 million, or you have also the chance to do 500,000 to the company. So I would like to start, as I have an order here, with Angelos Damaskos, CEO from Sector Investment Managers, whom you want to give your virtual million.
Yes, thank you. It's a difficult choice. They are all early stage exploration companies. They all seem to have great potential for some discoveries and some value addition. I'm already a shareholder in Sitka, so I will put that on the back burner. And among the others, I would be more favorable to American Pacific. It looks like it has joint ventured all its 3 current projects. So it's basically a carry on some quite prospective operations. I would be obviously concerned as to what they're going to do with the rest of their cash, where they're going to invest, but we'll cross that bridge when they present a proposal. So okay. my million would go to American Pacific.
The full $1 million, right? Yeah. Okay, super. Thank you very much. Then Chen Lin, president of Lin Asset Management, whom you want to give your money?
Yeah, hi. As I said, I'm a small shareholder of American Pacific. I followed them for a few years, but right now I feel this is probably a very good time to pick up the share because the share was cut down 60-70% due to the free trading. Okay, and then also the drawdown, and then they don't need money. You're very happy to give a company that don't need to raise money, so they don't need to raise money. But I have to say, all the other company looks very impressive. You have very good collections of companies. I'll go for American Pacific.
Okay, thank you very much. Then Michael Danov, president and CEO of SBP Management. Whom do you give your money?
Thank you. So I like few of the companies. I mean, I know Warwick from the past, so I'll probably look into him and do more due diligence and potential provide more capital. The other few is I will pass, and I will probably look into Sable resources as well. I think there could be some opportunities, so I would probably break it up in those 2 companies as of today.
Thank you. So half Sable and half American Pacific. Good. Then Chris Mancini, research analyst, Gabelli Gold Fund.
I like the American Pacific too. I do like that story. It's, elephant hunting at the Madison project. And I also like Sitka. I like those. Those are some really good holes that Sitka pulled at the Yukon project. And it's near Victoria. We own Victoria. We think that's a good deposit. So they actually have some good sniffs of gold there. So I would split it between Sitka and American Pacific.
Okay, thank you very much. And Miranda Werstiuk, Corporate Development Director of OCIM Precious Metals. Miranda, where goes your money?
Thank you everybody for your presentations. There is certainly a really interesting and a very good group of companies here. I would put my money with American Pacific. I've actually done work in Montana, which was interesting 20 years ago, and to see the work that you're doing with Rio Tinto, past producing mines in the area, the other opportunities in Nevada. I would put all my money into American Pacific.
Okay, super. Thank you very much. So we have a very clear winner, and that is American Pacific Mining with Warwick Smith, the CEO. Congratulations on that. If you would be in London, you would get at least a bottle of champagne, which we could have afterwards. That would be great. Yeah. But hopefully we can go this year all together in London to have at least a very good beer at one of the pubs around the convention center. Yeah, thank you very much to our presenting companies. Well done. And I know it's hard with 3 minutes minutes only. And but it is what it is. Those are the rules. And thank you very much also to our judges for a lot of good questions. And yeah, I wouldn't say barbecuing the CEOs. You were very polite, I must say, which is great. And actually, I wish you all the best. The most important thing these days is please stay healthy. That is important. And make sure that you are doing well, because I hope that we see us latest, let's say, Mainz and Money this year. I hope we can travel. I already heard that Oktoberfest in Munich is cancelled, which is also horrible, but it is what it is. And so then hopefully PDAC 2022, we can all meet us together then finally. Yes. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Here it's very late. I will have a nice gin tonic now, and probably you guys in Canada, you have to start your working day really. And so I'm done. And yeah, this was the Precious Metals pitch battle from Mainz and Money. And thanks to you, all the best, and hope to see you very soon, latest in the pitch battle tomorrow. Bye-bye and good night.
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.